In this video, we'll learn how to write Python programs using print function, using variables, input function, and typecasting functions. Okay, before stepping into any programming language learning, we have to be aware of data types. That means how many types of data are there, and how to represent that data. Okay, otherwise, if you don't know, if you are unclear about these data types, when you are trying to write the program, so you will get some syntax errors, that means programming language rule break errors, and also the logical errors. Okay, you have to encounter this kind of errors in programming while writing programs. Okay, because of that you should be very clear with the data types. Okay, as a human we just consider only two data types. We just focus mainly two data types. They are like text data types, that means abcds, words, sentences, and everything. And another data type is like numbers. Okay, we just focus on mainly on this two data types. But computer has some data types, different data types. Okay, it is very particular about every data. Okay, we just as a human we just treat whole numbers and the decimal numbers as the numbers itself. Okay, but computer is particular about every data. Okay, and we'll see some of the data types. And the first data types we have to talk like integer is a data type where all whole numbers. Okay, computer treats all whole numbers irrespective of the sign. Computer treats that all whole numbers as integer type. Okay, and all decimal numbers irrespective of the sign, positive or negative, computer treats that numbers as float numbers. And coming to the next data type, that is the character data types. Character means every character, every single letter, every single key on the keyboard, computer treats that as character. Okay, and when if you are using that character in your programming language, you should enclose that character inside quotes. Okay, double quotes. And c is one character, space is one character, one is one character, comma is one character, asterisk is one character. Every key on the keyboard, every single key on the keyboard, computer treats that as character. When you type any character on the keyboard, okay, computer first consider that character by enclosing that character with quotes. And coming to the next data type, that is a string is like the combination of characters. Okay, and the like your names. Okay, anything that is under quotes, okay, we call computer treats that as character. Even though it is a number, if you enclose that with the double quotes, computer treats that as a character, treats that as a string, not as a integer or the float. Okay, anything that is under quotes, computer treats that as string. Okay, your names comes under that string, and your sentences, my name is Sarika, all this sentences is also combination of characters, right? Okay, all the combination of at least one character, we call it as string. Okay, and coming to the next data type, that is boolean. Okay, usually so for some question we usually answer like yes or no. Okay, that is also a data, but we don't focus it more as a human, but computer focus on that as well. It treats that kind of data as boolean data type. And computer as a human we just use yes or no, but computer consider that as a true or false, or inside this true or false also inside the computer while processing it treats that data as 0 or 1. 0 means false, 1 means true. Okay, then why the computer is treating all this different data types? Okay, why is it not treating integer and float as the numbers? Please mind that computer assigns particular size of memory for each data type. Like for the integer, it assigns 2 bytes of memory. Okay, I'm just talking about Python. I'm considering all the programming languages, and in general I am saying you all this. Okay, and for the float, it assigns 4 bytes of memory space. For character, it assigns 1 byte of memory space. Okay, and for string, it's basically combination of characters. According to that, it has to assign the space. And for the boolean, it assigns 1 bit of space. Okay, uh, that's why computer specific about all this data types. Okay, and let's jump into the function, print function. In Python, print function is used to print any data onto the screen. That means any kind of data you can print, like integer data, decimal data, character data, string data, any kind of data. If you want to print it onto the screen from the programmer console to the user console, you have to use the print function. Let me go to the editor, programming editor, and you can see this space is the programmer's editor. That means you can edit the programs, you can write, you can change, you can delete anything. Okay, anything about regarding the program. If you want to edit the program, you have to write the program here. And this is the output console. Output console means this is for the user. Okay, this is for the programmer and this is for the user. Whatever you print, that gets print onto the output console. Okay, as a programmer, we should be aware of the output as well. Okay, with respect to the output itself, we can do any kind of modifications in our programming. Okay, now let's use the print function. And before that, let me tell you what is the syntax of the print function. What is syntax? Syntax is like a rule for every programming, for every language, as a human language as well. For English, there is a rule or not. Okay, you should use when you are writing any sentence, it should start the initial letter should be capital letter, right? Okay, when you are writing any paragraph, you have to give some indent space. And also in English, we are having that rule, sentence formation rule, like subject, verb plus object. This is a rule. Okay, for the programming languages, or also they maintain some rules. Okay, when you are learning that programming language, you have to follow that rule. Okay, we call that rule as syntax. Okay, that means if you are using the print function in the programming, you have to write that print function in the same format. Okay, every letter should be lowercase, and after that, name of that function, braces follows. Okay, without any space, with the braces follows. Okay, and you have to, whatever the data you want to print onto the screen, you have to pass the data inside this function. That means inside the braces. This is how you should write the print function. Now let me use the print function and type some data. Okay, some integer data. Okay, just I passed integer data inside the print function. Now run it. It just print the data that is present inside the braces. Now I would like to print a decimal data. Okay, I would like to print a decimal data. Just use the print function and print it. And inside it, I am just changing to 1.123.59. Okay, you can see that only the data that is present inside the braces, that is getting print onto the screen. And remember that braces means you cannot use any kind of braces. You should use only the angular braces. Like as a human, we just use braces like whatever we want. Okay, like flower braces, square braces, anything. Okay, but a programming language has rules. Okay, for every function, you have to use only the angular braces. And if you want to print the character data, you should enclose that inside the braces. Okay, like I want to print a space. Okay, then run it, you will get a space. Can you see that? Yeah, this is a space. And if you want to print the string, like a sentence, I want to print my name or a sentence, then obviously you have to enclose, that is a string data type. Obviously you have to enclose that inside the double quotes. And and also if you are passing the number, okay, if you are passing the number, computer treats that as a string itself. Okay, and this is how, suppose I want to pass all this data in one print function, then how can I do that? Okay, these are all the multiple data. If you want to print multiple data, you have to separate that data, you have to separate that data with comma. Okay, clear? When you want to print multiple data, at least one data, in at least two data in one print function, you have to separate that with comma. Okay, in place of comma, print function will print.
అమ్మ ఇవి నాకు వద్దు.
సరిపో when yes, you, and this print function gets this comma executes,
అమ్మ
this comma executes as space in the output console. Okay, let me run it and show you. You can see that wherever the comma is there you can see one space over there. Okay, this is how you can print multiple data inside one print function. Okay, this is what I wrote here. And coming to the print with prompt, okay, user doesn't know all this program. Okay, they can see only the output. Okay, suppose I am printing like this. Sarika, comma 29, comma and 5.8. Okay, I am just printing this data onto the output console. Then let me show you. Okay, user doesn't know about the program. Okay, and he can see only this Sarika 29 5.8, and what the user needs to imagine about this data, and what is Sarika, what is 29, what is 5.8. It is a confusion for the user or not. Okay, that's why as a programmer, when you are trying to print any kind of data, you should pass a prompt for the data, a clue for the data, a clue regarding the data, the intention behind your data printing. Like, okay, let me show you so that you will understand. User name colon, okay, and age colon, comma height. Now let me print it. Now, is my data is having any sense? Now it is having sense. Okay, this is the prompt. User name is the prompt, age is the prompt, height is the prompt. Okay, by looking at this output, user can understand what is your intention behind the data. Okay, when you are trying to print any data onto the screen, before that data you just give the prompt. Prompt is like a sentence, right? Obviously it is a string data type. You should enclose that prompt inside double quotes. Okay, and prompt is one data, your data is one data, then obviously you should separate prompt and data with comma. Clear? Okay, when you are trying to print any data, just print your intention about that data. Okay, with the prompt, we call that as a prompt. Okay, and coming to the variables. Okay, variable is an identifier or name of the data, name of the memory space where your data is stored. Okay, remember that variable is an identifier. Okay, let me give you one example. Okay, you as a person is data and your name is your identifier. Okay, that is what. Okay, for every data, if you give one identifier, name for that data, okay, we call that as a variable. Usually identifier or name of the memory space where your data is stored. Okay, I'll explain you in detail in a while. Okay, and where the data can be vary. Okay, wherever you are using variable, you can change the data present in that memory space. Okay, wherever you want in the program. Okay, let me justify this definition. Okay, suppose I am using this print, I am using one print statement like this. Okay, otherwise let me use the same print statement. Here I want to print okay, instead of Sarika. Before that, just tell me one thing. Whenever you are using any data in the program, computer assigns, computer, whatever data you use in the program, computer assigns a memory space for that data. Okay, a memory space for the data. Okay, and I created this program. This program is having one print function, and I am using the data like Sarika 29 and 5.8 in my program. This is a data, obviously it gets stored in the memory space. Okay, suppose I would like to change this username to Harika. I would like to change this username to Harika, and I would like to provide all the Harika details. Okay, I would like to provide all the Harika details. Okay, now as a human we just think like, okay, wherever the data is there, I am just replacing the data with the new data. Okay, I am not using the extra space. But computer, whenever you take the new data, it will assign a new place for that data in the memory space. Okay, and if it doesn't matter if you are not using that previous data anymore, it doesn't matter for the computer. Okay, whenever you take the new data in your program, it will assign the new values for that data, new memory space for that data. Okay, in my program, am I using the Sarika and Sarika's age and height anymore? No, I am not using, but computer still lasting that data in the memory space. Now, is it the memory loss or not? Yes. Okay, suppose is there any mechanism that wherever I am changing the data, only wherever I am changing the data, wherever the data is stored. Okay, if that place is replaced with the new data, then there would be no memory loss, right? Okay, to get that mechanism, programmers introduce this variables concept. Okay, now how can you write the program using the variables? Okay, this is how you can write the variable name and assignment operator. In programming we call equal to as assignment operator, and you have to in the RHS side you have to give the data, whatever the data you want to assign to the variable, you have to write the data in the RHS side. Now when you do like this, okay, computer assign Sarika in one memory space, and it will name the whole memory space with that variable name. Okay, here name is the identifier of this data. Clear? Okay, name is the identifier or name of this data, and here 29 is the data. Whenever you write data in your program, automatically computer assigns one memory space for the 29 and it names that memory space with that variable name whatever you have given. Okay, and this variable name is your wish. According to the data that you are assigning, you have to provide that variable name. Okay, and the variable name should not starts with number. Okay, you can take any other data. Okay, suppose variable name is having two words, you should not give space between that words. You should separate them or join them with the underscore. Okay, that is the rule for the variable, programming rule for the variable design. Okay, now wherever the data is saved and that memory space is named with the identify with the variable name. Okay, now let me use the same program. Okay, let me write the same program and you can see okay, I'll tell you, wait. Okay, let me use the same program here. Okay, here if you want to use that data in the rest of the program, you just call the data with the variable name. You just call the data with the variable name and computer or the Python takes care of printing the value present in that variable. Okay, now let me execute and show you. Okay, what is the error in line 5? Error is there. And what is that error? Okay, this quotations. Here you can see that invalid character. Okay, just give me a second, I'll change this double quotes. Okay, now you can see that wherever your variable name is there, instead of variable name, it is printing you the data present in that variable. Okay, whatever the data present in that variable, it is printing. Okay, obviously this prompt is one data, variable name is one data, you should separate that with comma. And if you want to, and remember that whenever you are using the variable, even though it is in the form of string data type, you should not enclose that inside the quotes. Okay, if you enclose that inside the quotes, if you enclose that with the quotes, then it will treat this as a normal string, and Python software doesn't consider that as a variable, and it will print as it is. Whatever the strings that you are using in your program, that string gets print as it is onto the screen. Okay, now you can see that in place of username, it is just printing the username string. It is not, your Python is not considering that username as a variable name. For that reason, you should not give quotes for the variable name. Okay, if you don't use the quotes for the variable name, then Python will print whatever the data present in that memory space. It takes care of the user console to get that data onto the user console. Okay, now here comes the difference. Okay, why we moved to the normal data to the variable data. Okay, suppose if I change the data present in that variable, okay, the quotes. Okay, if I change the data present in that variable, now what happens inside? Okay, what happens inside is like, now you can see that it is another data. Okay, previously it is Sarika and 29 5.8, now it is new data. Okay, this time we are changing the data for the variable. Okay, now computer, okay, inside the computer, what computer does is like, wherever that name variable memory space is there it will replace that previous data with the new data. Wherever that variable is, where to which the memory space your variable is assigned, then that memory space is replaced with new data and not and it won't get assigned in the new memory space. Sorry, age is sorry, here it is 6.1 and here it is age, right, 30. Okay, now wherever your variable is assigned, to which memory space your variable is assigned, in the same place computer will replace the previous data with the new data. Now you can see that there is no memory loss in our computer. Okay, that's why we are calling variable as identifier, or the name of memory where your data is stored, and also the data can vary in that memory space whenever you want. That's why it is named as vary plus able, that is change plus able. Wherever your variable is there, you can change the data present in that variable anytime in your program. Okay, that is what that is the importance of the variable. Okay, and coming to the, and till now we are just using our own data. Is that correct or not? Only programmer, as a programmer, I am just providing the data for all the variables. I am just using my data for the program. But usually as a programmer, we develop the programs for users, not for the programmers. Then we have to take the data from the users and we have to make use of the data in our program. Then how can you get the data from user? This input function is used to get the data from user, and it will return that data. Now please remember that it will return that data to the program in the form of string. Okay, in the form of string. Suppose whatever the data that user is entering, like integer data or float data or string data, whatever the data would be, okay, whatever the data that user is entering into the computer, just input function get that data and return that data in the form of string. Even though if you enter 123, it will return that 123 to the program in the form of string itself. Now let me prove it. Okay, let me first tell you how to write. Okay, what is the syntax for the input function? Input function, all letters or small letters, lowercase letters, and follows braces. Okay, inside the braces you have to pass the prompt. That means you have to give the clue for the user that what are you expecting from the user. Okay, then let me write one program. Okay, I want to write one program that I want to get the age from the user, and I want to print the age, print the user's age. Yes, I have written the same. I have to get age from the user, and I have to print the age. What will be their age in next 10 years? I have to calculate and I want to print it. Then how do you get it? You have to use input function, and inside the input function you have to pass the prompt. Obviously prompt is string data type. Okay, and you have to give the prompt like you are expecting the age from the user, right? Give the same prompt, enter age. Okay, then this input function will get that data from user and it will return the data. When it is returning the data, you have to assign that data to one variable to hold that data. I am assigning that data to one variable like user age, user underscore age. Okay, now whatever the data that user entered for this prompt, that will this input function will return that data, and we are assigning that data into the user age. Then how can I prove that user age is having user's age? Just print it. Okay, just print that user age, then you can see whatever the user is giving to the program, it will get print onto the screen. And let me run it. you can see that we are provided with the prompt. And let me give one age. Let me give age for the program. Now you can see that users is print onto the screen. Okay, now you can say that whatever the data that input function is getting from the user console, we are assigning that value to one variable and we are making use of that variable in our program. Okay, now I already stated that input function return the data, whatever the data would be, it will return the data in the form of string. Then how can I prove that? Okay, if you want to get to know the type of the data present in the variable, we are having one function. You can use that function. That function is type. Okay, that function is type. Okay, use the type function. Okay, inside the type function, just pass the variable name to which you want to know the type of the data. Okay, and this type function is also get the data type of the variable that you passed inside, and it will return the type of that variable. Okay, type of the data present in that variable, and I am storing that when it is returning, we have to catch it. Okay, we have to assign that to one variable. I am taking that into the variable like data type of user, data type of user age. Okay, now this variable is having the type of data. Okay, let me print the type of data so that you can see that what is the current data type of that user age. Okay, I'll print this one, then whatever the data present in that variable, that gets print onto the screen. Okay, user age 45. You can see that what is it printing? It is printing, it is the string. As a human, we just believe that it is a number, it is an integer, but this input function return that data in the form of string to the program. Then can we calculate? Okay, let me discard this. Let's try to calculate the age in 10 years. How can you calculate that? First you need to consider that user age variable and plus 10. This is how you can calculate the age after 10 years, right? Okay, then for this calculation you will be provided with the resulted value, and let me assign that resulted value in variable to make use of that result. Okay, I'm just taking that into new age variable. Okay, now new age variable is assigned with the calculated value of this user age plus 10. Okay, now I would like to print the new age. Print of new age. Okay, now you can see that if there are errors or there's something, you can see. Let me enter the age 56. Now there is an error. What is the error? Okay, and in which line the error is? In the line of 3. Okay, and what is the error? Can only concat. Okay, can only join string to string, and I cannot concat string to integer. Okay, that means this plus operator, when you are using plus operator with the string, computer treats that computer evaluate that plus operator as a concatenation operator, that is a join operator, and it is saying that user age is a string. Okay, and here the next operand for this operator is integer, and I cannot perform concatenation operation or the arithmetic addition operation with the string and the 10. Okay, let me give an example. Can you add 10 for Sarika? You cannot you cannot do it, right? Okay, but we can add 10 plus 20. Okay, that means you can get that evaluated result, but you cannot add a string like your name with 10 or 2.3. Okay, that is what happening here. Okay, then we have to convert this username into the integer for our further calculations. Is that correct or not? Then how can we convert this user age? Okay, till now user age is having for 56 in the form of string. Then how can I convert that string into the integer? Usually we consider user age as integer. Then how can you convert that? You have to use some typecasting functions. Typecasting functions are like type conversion functions. These are used to convert one type of data into the another data type, and you are having so many typecasting functions. First one is the int function. It is used to convert data into the integer. And float function, it is used to convert data into the float data type. And string str function, it is used to convert any data into the string data type. And next one is the boolean function. It is used to convert the data into the boolean. Now here in our program, our requirement is like we have to convert the 56 string value, okay, string value of the 56 in this user age into the integer value. Then obviously we have to use int function, and inside the int function you have to pass the variable or the data that you want to convert into the integer. What is the duty of this int function? It will convert the data present in this variable into the integer, and it will return it. When it is returning, you have to assign, you have to hold that into one variable to make use of that in further program. Okay, and I am storing that in the same variable, or you can yes, I am storing that in one variable, that is the user age. Otherwise, if you want to differentiate it, you can differentiate it like this: user age in the form of string, user age underscore string. That variable is having, this variable is having user age in the form of string. This variable is storing user's age in the form of integer, which is returned by this int function. Now you perform the calculation. Now you have to use the same variable, okay, because this variable is having the user's age in the form of integer. Now here we now it is ready for the calculation. Now we can do the arithmetic addition operation with the two integers. Okay, now you run the program. You can see that there is no syntax error. Okay, I am passing the age like this 67, and still we are having error. Okay, user is undefined. No variable is there before this statement. No variable is there like user age. Okay, it must be user age underscore str. Okay, now I'm passing the age like 34, and you can see that it is incremented with 10. Okay, this is how you can convert the data. And suppose I want to convert any float data. Suppose I am expecting height from the user. And just change the variable names accordingly. Height, Control C, Control V, Control V, new height, Control V, and I want to increase the height with like 1 feet 2 inches. Okay, and you have to change this variable names accordingly. Okay, now you have to use the float. Obviously height we measure in the decimal numbers, is that correct or not? Then you have to use the float function, and inside the float function you have to pass the variable to which you want that conversion. Okay, now let's see, this new age is not there, new height it is. Okay, new height, and let me run it, and it is asking for the height. I am just giving, I'm just giving the height like 5.7. Now give the enter. Now it became 6.9 and it became 6.9. That is how you can use it. And coming to the another data type, how to use this boolean data type. Okay, how to convert any data to the boolean. Okay, then let me take one variable to hold that one. Okay, I'm just taking the variable name as decision. Decision is equal to string. Okay, I'm just treating the true as a string. Okay, and I would like to convert that. I would like to print the data type of this decision. Okay, decision. Okay, you have to pass it in type function. Type of decision. Okay, type of decision variable, I'm printing that. And after that I want to convert this decision into the boolean using the bool function. Decision in the form of string. Here I would like to take another variable, decision underscore boolean. Okay, bool is equal to, and I would like to convert this data type using the bool function, and I have to pass the variable that is in the form of string. In the form of string, that is the decision. Now let me print the data type of this decision bool, this variable. Okay, control V, and I will change this decision variable to bool. Okay, now you can see that. Let me run the program first. Okay, decision variable is of type string, and now decision bool is in the form of boolean. Let me use the same variable. Okay, now by this statement your decision is having true in the form of string. That means decision variable is storing true in the form of string, and by this statement, okay, your decision variable in the place of decision in the memory space of decision variable, that true string is replaced with the true in the form of boolean. Okay, now you can see that for the same variable, at first it will print the string type, and in the next statement it will print the type of the decision as bool. Let me run it. Okay, you can see the same. Okay, this is how you can convert any data type like using the typecasting function. Let me end this video with one program, that is like I have to get a product price from the user, and I would like to give 20 or 10% discount or 10% discount on that product, and I would like to print the final value after the discount. Okay, now if you want to get the data from the user, obviously you have to use input function, and inside the input function you have to pass the prompt according to your expectation. I am expecting total price from the user. Enter total price colon. Okay, obviously this input function will return that value. Okay, then we have to assign that value to one variable, and I am assigning that to one variable with the name like total price. My variable name is your wish. Okay, variable name is your wish, and total price is having total price entered by the user in the form of string. Is that correct or not? Now we have to convert this. Obviously we just consider the currency in the form of decimal numbers. Now you have to use the float function to convert that total price in the form of float. Total price, I am passing this variable inside the float function. Then this, what is the duty of float function? Float function will convert the data present in that braces into the float, and it will return it. When it is returning, we have to hold it. Okay, I am holding into the same variable that is total price. Okay, by this statement total price is having total price in the form of float. Okay, now I have to provide the discount, 10% discount. First we need to calculate discount value. Okay, then how can you calculate it? Okay, suppose I am providing that 10% discount, right? 10 into, how do you calculate the percentage value? That percentage rate into the value, actual value, that is total price. Okay, and whole divided by 100. Okay, to represent that whole division I have given the braces. Okay, then this expression gets evaluate and give one result, right? Okay, then when it is, this expression is returning that result, we have to assign that in one variable to hold that result value. I'm just taking that to, here we are calculating the discount value, right? I'm just giving the variable name also like that, discount value is equal to this. Then how, now we have to calculate the price, the final price after discount. Okay, then I am holding that in one variable, that is the final price. Okay, final price is equal to, okay, then how can you calculate it? Actual total price. Okay, total price minus discount value, then only you will get the final price after discount. Okay, now let me print the same. Okay, print of, and I am giving the prompt as well, after 10% discount, on total price. Where is the first price present? In the total price variable. On this total price is, I would like to write is. Okay, after 10% discount on total price, your final price colon, and where is that final price present? In this variable, final underscore price. Okay, now let me print it, let me run it. Here it is asking total price. I am just providing the 1000 rupees. Okay, and you can see that after 10% discount on 1000, the final price is 900. Okay, this is how you can calculate. You can use the input functions, print functions, typecasting functions, arithmetic operators to perform any task using the Python programming language. Okay, I hope you found this video informative, and thanks for watching. Yes, thank you.